battle starts.
Okay, so I do think I screened you for a little bit. Not because I was sure I could catch Midway rocket planes, because I'm not sure I could catch Midway rocket planes. I mean, they go 200 something knots, so if I drop a fighter, odds are they'd get the fuck out. But mostly I saw that you reacted, so I was willing to continue kind of the chest bashing. You know, see if I could intimidate you into not pushing to get information. Granted, if I'm bullying you, we're not getting information either. But, I mean, I do have a rough idea what the timing is on the safe cap, so that kind of worked out. And secondly, Daring isn't going to have a lot of AA. God knows if the DD is just going to leave his AA on and do something dumb. I'm over here, shoot me! So, we chest bumped a little bit, dropped a fighter, which would block for the Daring Moskva going towards C. Moskva went on a secret mission. Normally, Moskva position's going to be on this rock or somewhere up here open water, because a Moskva can exist open water. But this guy probably didn't know that, because he kind of like went down here or something. I don't know. He did his own thing. So we're blocking you. You don't want to test us. You want to test me, bro? Now go ahead and drop that, which gives the Daring a line 2C, which I think you go ahead and drop a counter consumable if I remember. Yes, you do. So I have interceptors, you have patrol fighters, yours actually spot. So this does block for the approach to the contested cap, but there's contested and there's safe cap. You can see our safe cap is already being capped. So theoretically, me bullying you over here, this is still going to be the place you want to go. Yeah, you want to get information, you want to know what's going on over here, which frankly would have been nice if I'd done the same for my team, give them an idea what the fuck they were walking into. But this is a source of points. This is the thing that slowly begins to win the game. So realistically, if you can be over here to reset or to bully, then you're able to prevent us from getting points while helping your team, you know, get closer to getting points instead. Whoever first takes a safe cap has a big advantage in the game. Because it's going to force the enemy team to make a move. Now, it could just be that they take their safe cap and then they take the contested, and who gives a shit? But in a higher end game, higher skill game, whatever, realistically, one person takes their safe, the other team takes their safe, and then it's a face-off at the contested, unless they're specifically blitzing through to try to take the other safe. And if it's a face-off, you may not take the contested cap. Contested cap may trade hands back and forth, so this initial shit actually is very important. So I did grab bombers on the assumption, well, the Colbert's over here, so maybe this guy's just kind of taking his time. We might be able to get there in time to get resets. Looks like you encountered a Holland, you got ripped apart by him, is what it is. Surprise motherfucker, Holland was in the mid. Don't often expect a DD to play mid, just kind of a flex position, but the Holland plugging this AA gap was actually pretty damn strong in that. So you got surprised motherfuckered, you lost some planes for it, is what it is. So Colbert is over here, which we can start trying to harass to get resets on. Now, if you look, we've already taken A. So you've got two options. One, you can come over and secure B with a fighter, probably something to bully me the fuck off. Or you can come in and you can do your damnedest to see that you guys get C before we do. Because you're probably going to get the safe cap in the end. That's probably a thing that happens. So you either spend your influence trying to make this lock in, or you spend your influence trying to make sure this goes your way. Granted, well, I obviously don't see what your team is doing. I assume you have a DD up here, maybe two, because there's fucking 4 of them. So if you were able to cock block the Daring, maybe with some bombs or something, maybe he doesn't go in to see you guys take it, and then Colbert eventually clinches. So you got to choose which influence point you want to commit to, and we can already see you're going over to B. Awesome. So B is going to be what you've chosen. You've chosen safe cap. Sure, makes sense. Cool. We go in on the Colbert. Dunk. We get 4 resets. If I get bomb hits, fucking great. I never expect them. I'm just going to put the reticle there and hope that something happens. Just try to be realistic about it. I wish that was more. It looked like it should have been more. But I want you to see what happened over the course of these 2 strikes. Thunder is moved up. Thunder is given assistance, AA assistance to the Kleber, so that puts me on a timer. I'm not just... Kleber AA will get planes killed, but having a Thunderer on top is going to get planes killed faster. But you flew from here to here to here. There was no fighter. You could have dropped a fighter. Granted, at this point, I've only got 4 planes, so I mean, maybe your fighter only kills 1 plane or kills 4 planes or something. It's not going to be full efficiency. But if it gets me the fuck off the Kleber, then you have a chance at getting B. And that's important because you need the points. So option A, if you're coming here, do the thing. If you're going there, do the thing. But you can't fly past it because then you didn't do the thing, and that's no good. So Thunder is trying to help out. We lose the plane, but I still have planes to go after the Kleber and run him right the fuck out of the cap. So we have a cap, you don't, although you're starting to take C, because you guys have, it looks like 3 up here, 3 down here. We've got 3. We kind of have 3, although this is a weird configuration. Thunderer can't necessarily help, and the Moskva's in Moskva land. So at this point, I see a Holland and a Shimakaze vying for control over the center. Shimakaze is going to be threatening the Moskva. Has probably already torped him. And you're working on a Kleber that's wide. Okay. So you're staying on this Kleber. You don't have C yet. You've lost a B for now until they figure out how the fuck to go in. So staying on the Kleber is okay if you're getting the hits. If you're getting, like, just, you're nailing them over and over and over again, well, by all means, but something to consider. The Kleber does not have a heal. The Gearing does not have a heal. The Gearing has less effective health, because say it's got 23,000 health. You're going to shoot it, it's going to lose some health, it's going to get saturated, and it's going to lose health slower. Kleber, it's going to lose some health, and it's going to get saturated, it's going to lose health really fucking slow. Because the French destroyers have an extra saturation mechanic, so instead of taking half damage, they take quarter damage against HE, which sucks. So you might have to land, I'm gonna bullshit a number here, 6 to 8 bombs on a Gearing. You might have to land 8 to 12 bombs on a Kleber. Fuck, maybe even more. It's dumb. So if you're going to pick a target to bomb, if you have a choice, because I don't know if you knew the Gearing was there, Gearing would be a preferable choice. But, you know, if you're landing hits, cool. Otherwise, you should work on securing. Points are wins. Secure this, secure that. Working on a Kleber that's running the fuck away. I mean, hell, if nothing else, you got him to turn out, right? It's not pressuring B. You got other places to be. You got shit to do. Might be worth going out and doing it, but... So you're staying on the Kleber, which is cool. Moskva is now, like, in this weird fuck cross-torp charging the Petro what the hell situation thing. Still on the Kleber.
Attention, reporting the target position.
Looks like... Okay, so this is a misplay by me in the sense that the Thunder is, according to this, not in the cap, but the Kleber probably is. I'm working on the Shima. Okay, in terms of points to win games, being on the Kleber would be more valuable if I can get the reset. I don't know where the Kleber is. There's a Thunderer on top of him, basically. I'm going to have to go through the Thunderer to get to wherever the hell the Kleber is. I might not get a reset here. Versus, I have a Holland that actively wants to shoot the Shimakaze, and if we can bully this dude back and kind of clean this out, great. So in this case, I'm going to stick on the Shimakaze. You have rocket planes coming out. Looks like you're going to take C, so that's cool. Looks like you're going to take B. Granted, you know, I'm over here, so you're responding. Maybe you can drop a fighter. Maybe you can crowd control me or something. But if you take C and B, having 2 caps to 1 is a victory condition. So you drop a fighter, which is cool. I am actually able to get out of the fighter before it latches, which means I'm going to be able to come back in and reset the Shima again. Although... I mean, it doesn't do shitloads of damage. And I'm going to go ahead and prime the fighter so that once it comes over and starts to shoot, Daka Daka, we fire, and then our planes leave, and the fighter doesn't actually get any kills. We happen to get a hit, which is cute. Looking over here, the Moskva tried for a drive-by on the Petro, because what the hell? Eventually, I think they both die. And you're coming over here, which is protecting B. So there's a concept between, do you protect or do you aggress? And in my opinion, the best choice is what can you do best? You know, what is the most likely to result in a favorable outcome? Because like I was in a match with BFK the other day where BFK and some other dude, whatever, they're pushing B here on this map. There's a Yamato that was running and a Smolensk that was running with him. Do I want to run after a Yamato, which it's unlikely I'm going to solo kill because there's 2 DDs that aren't going to open water gunboat this dude, or at least didn't seem like they cared enough to do it. I'm going to go over to a Yamato who's going to have a Smolensk, so I'm going to eat shit from the Smolensk, trying to deal with this Yamato. I'm going to do probably about 50-60,000 damage. He's going to heal about 30-40,000 of it back. What does that do? Nothing. If it doesn't result in a kill, don't waste your time doing it. So if you've got rockets out here and you're kind of looking for the Kleber, you're kind of looking for the gearing, is this going to stop this push? On the plus side, you're guarding your Thunderer, which is good, because I mean, fucking 2 DDs, hell, 3 if you know that the Holland is there. That's all kinds of torps, and this dude's bow is in the direction of death. So that, you know, okay, cool. You're bolstering this. It's 3v3. If you could somehow get this shit spotted, maybe the Thunderer takes some pot shots, that's going to go well for you. This is looking pretty weird, and you could certainly have a route in on the Moskva, which might make your DD's lives miserable. So it's one or the other. If you can somehow save the Thunderer, or you somehow save your DD's from the Moskva. It sucks to recall when you're halfway out to a strike. But I do want you to notice you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 grid squares away from your target. Versus the Moskva, which is 1, 2, 3-ish, basically 3.5 grid squares away from a Moskva. You could fly this twice in the time it takes you to go over to piss off a Kleber a little. And further, tier 10 carriers are nerfed against DDs. Like if you have high explosive damage, which you do in the midway, the Kleber is not only a small target, so a lot of it's going to miss, but B, it's going to shrug off a shitload of it anyway. So just, you know, evaluating options. All right, so Petro is an 07 player that's going to style all over our fucking Thunderer. So Thunderer is dead. 3 of our people die extremely quickly, which is great. He's throwing shots at me, I guess because he doesn't have anything else to shoot. Although, I mean, it's not going to yield him very much because I'm bow into this. Alright. So you have bombs out again for the DDs, for the gearing for the Kleber to block B. That's not a bad choice. Thunderer's dead, by the way, so unfortunately that happened. So it's 2v2 if the Shima Kleber is still around. I don't know, maybe that's even enough. But you've got a Petro that's in an extremely dominant position to be able to just murder face some destroyers. If you help this guy, when you shoot a destroyer, it's going to take you a minute to a minute and 15 seconds, and you're going to do maybe 3,000 damage. Maybe you spin around and do another 3,000 damage. If you get lucky with bombs, maybe you do 6. Maybe 8 or something. I mean, you don't expect 4 or 5 bomb hits. You expect maybe 2 or 3 as the highs. Whereas the Petro shoots roughly every 10 seconds-ish and can slap a DD for 3 to 6. So in the time it takes you to strike one person one time for 3k, the Petro could shoot 6 times and do 18 to 20-ish. The fact that this guy is alive means that this daring is easy to kill, this gearing is easy to kill, this Kleber is easy to kill. Making your cruiser not be dead is one of the best things you could be doing right now. So I know you trying to go after the DDs because people tell, oh, cruisers, or carriers, you got to kill the destroyers. Carriers, you got to kill the destroyers. But if you had fighters on this guy, I mean, one, he's actively able to harass and potentially kill a CV over time, because once the damage con runs out, he's going to light me on fire over and over. But if you also spot destroyers in any meaningful way for this dude, keep him alive, keep me off of him, then he can just win the game for you. Also, he's an 007 member, so I happen to know Eagle because I used to be in a clan with him. Dude knows what he's
Enemy
doing.
cruiser sunk.
All right, so now you've lost your cruiser, so there was an advantage that you had. There was a small window where you had that advantage. It is now gone, which means it comes down to you in 3DDs versus me in 3DDs. In which case, may the best bombs win. May the best bombs and rockets win. Because really, what else is it? So again, you're on the Kleber. I don't know if you've seen the gearing. Gearing would still be, even though it's full health, it's still technically a better target because you're going to actually do more to it when you strike it. Especially if your bombs hit like simultaneously. If you get a 2 or 3 bomb hit, I think that's taken as full damage as opposed to pen damage. Our daring slightly takes this. You're still working on these guys. I'm begging the daring to smoke so that I can come over, light this dude. I guess the gearing, well, no, gearing doesn't have hydro, so you probably could have smoked and hydroed anyway. Whatever. And at this point, it's 4 against 2. I mean, realistically, you're in a midway. You're not going to do fuckloads of crazy damage. You're just not. You've been trying all game, and you know, tier 10 CVs got nerfed. It is what it is. They have less presence against destroyers. You just got to make the best of it, and your teammates need to step the fuck up. If your teammates don't step the fuck up, sometimes you get lucky. You don't get lucky and they don't step up, you lose. So, is what it is. Yeah, you didn't know the daring was low, probably because your teammate didn't tell you. And you don't have vision on it, so, you know, it's not going to update on your little thing. It's not going to tell you. You're not going to know. Realistically, your teammates just said, like, daring's on 300 health. Daring's on 300 health. And maybe you could have saved this cap, but, I mean, at this point, it's still pretty rough. Well, I don't know. I mean, if you killed the daring before he took C and you had yourself and the Shima going after the Kleber, maybe you retake B, maybe? But you didn't get the information you needed. Shima's going for the back cap. So daring's up to 13. Shima sees him, but daring smokes. I'm over here to try and help. Although the daring is not in smoke. But he does take him, and then at that point it's sealed.
Our team has taken the lead.
So, was there a lot that you could have done? Was there a huge difference? I don't know about that.